WordPress.com offers you two advanced functions your users can interact with. They are ratings and polls that you find down here in the sidebar on the dashboard. The ratings option allows your visitors to rate your posts, your pages, and even your comments. And the polls option allows you to create polls and surveys that you can put into either posts or in your sidebar on your site to get people to tell you information about themselves or what they think of your blog. Let's take a look at the ratings first. If I go to the dashboard and click on ratings, I get the ratings setup option. From here, I can decide whether or not I want to enable ratings for the blog posts, and I do, and then I can select whether I want them above or below each post. I want to leave them above, and then I can also enable it for the front page, or in this case, the blog page. It's just poorly named. If you check this, it means that the ratings will appear on your index pages. I don't want to do that. I'm going to save the changes because I want it on my blog posts, and then I get advanced settings. From here, if I click on that, I can go and change the way the ratings appear. I can choose whether I want a 5-star rating, just like you see here, a 5-star rating, or what's called a Nero rating or an up and down vote. So you get either I like it or I dislike it. I tend to find that people like the Nero rating more because they're now used to the like button on Facebook and other places, but you may also want to use the 5-star rating sometimes for different reasons. Once you pick a rating system, you can set the rating style. You can pick the size of the rating buttons between small, medium, and large. And you can also choose a color, or you can even upload a custom image. In addition, you can change the text layout and font. That's the font that appears next to the rating and gives you further information. You can play around with this until you find something you like. You also have extra settings, like whether or not you want the results to appear after people click on it, and you can even track each rating with an ID. On the right-hand side here, you can customize the labels so that instead of saying vote, you can make it say leave your vote or something else, and you can change all the labels that are associated with the rating. There are quite a few of them, and you can have a lot of fun changing these to something more engaging than the default. Now, the only thing I want to change is the color, so I changed it to blue, and I'm just going to click Save Changes here. And then I also want to go and activate ratings for pages by enabling it, and also for comments. And just like with the posts, you get the advanced settings here, and you can go and play around with them. You'll notice that for comments, the default setting is the Nero rating, so you either like or you dislike each comment. What does this look like on the site? Well, let's find out. I'll open the site in a separate window, and then I'll go to my blog and open a story. And you'll see here at the top, we have a rating system. So I can go in and rate this as excellent. And then I can also go down and look at each comment. And I see that each of the comments now has a Nero vote, so I can rate it up or down. And as I do that, the owner of the site will be able to see what comments are popular and what comments are unpopular. Once you have the rating system activated, you can go to the dashboard and find under Ratings, Reports. Here you get reports about what posts and other content have ratings and what those ratings are. That way you can see what's popular and what's not. This is extremely useful if you're trying to figure out what you want to write about and what people like to read. Because then you can see the ratings of your content and you see that maybe one type of content has much higher ratings than another type of content. That means you may want to skew towards what's popular and away from what's not popular. So that's ratings. What about polls? Well, polls, although they appear on the dashboard, are actually managed by a separate service called PollDaddy. And to use polls, you have to first set up a PollDaddy account. So I'm going to do that now. I'll simply click on the Auto Create a New Account button. Do it. I want some polls. And WordPress.com will go and talk to PollDaddy.com, set up an account for me using the same information I used to set up the WordPress.com account, and then integrate everything. How can it do that? Well, if you look at the PollDaddy website and you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that PollDaddy is an Automatic company. And Automatic is the company that runs WordPress.com. Now that I've integrated PollDaddy into my WordPress.com site, I can add a new poll. So I can either click the Add New button up here, or I can click Create a New Poll down here. From here, I can create a question and then provide answers. So let's say, what is your favorite type of art? Sorry, I live in Canada, so I spell things properly. I'll fix it. Or I can add an image, or add audio, or add a video. Then I can provide answers. So I'll say painting, and then photography, sculpture. And then I need to add some more answers. I'll add new answer. And for each of these, I can also add an image, an audio file, or a video file. I can now move these if I want to reorder them into a different order. And I can delete them if I don't like them. So if I don't want installations to be an option, I can simply delete the answer. So as you can see, managing it is very easy. On the right-hand side here, under Save, I can also do things like randomize the answer order. If you're doing what I'm doing right now and you create multiple answers, it is a good idea to randomize the answer order because that way people won't automatically prioritize what's on top. You can also allow other answers if you want. I've found by experimentation that by allowing other answers, you generally don't get the answer you want to your question, so it's not always a good idea. But it may be. You can add a share link so other people can share your poll with them. And you can add multiple choice so people can pick more than one option as their answer. If we scroll further down, you see we can choose between different layouts for our poll. The default is this plain white, and personally I like the plain white. But if you navigate through here, you'll see that you have a bunch of different options that get tackier and tackier as you go further down the chain. And for each of them, what you see is the front page, so what the poll looks like before you vote, and then when you hover over it, you'll see what it looks like after people have voted. So find one you like. I'm going to stick with the default, and then you can pick whether you want it to be wide, medium, or narrow. I'm just going to leave it at medium, which is 300 pixels wide. Then I'm going to go make sure that the results display is correct. Here I have the option between showing the full results to the voters, show only percentages to voters, or hide all the results. And I can check whether or not people are allowed to do repeat voting. You can either not block repeat voters, in which case people will rig your vote. You can try to block it based on a cookie, and you can also block both based on a cookie and by IP address. Now, if you choose this last option, it means that if several people in the same household on several different computers want to vote, they can only vote once per household because mostly several computers in the same household have the same IP address because they're on the same router. Finally, you can decide whether or not you want people to be able to comment on the poll itself. I'll leave Allow Comments on, so mostly default, and then I'll click Save Poll. Once I save my poll, I can now go to All Polls, and I'll see it listed along with whatever other polls I have. And from here, I can either edit my poll, I can click to get the embed link directly to the poll, I can preview the poll, or I can delete it. So first, I want to preview the poll, just so I know what it looks like. And here it is. I can test it, and I see what the result is like. Then I want to add this poll into one of my posts. So what I'm going to do is go to a post, create a new post, say answer our poll, and then I'll write some text. And then I want to add the poll into this post. The way I do that is by going up here at the top bar, right next to the Add Media button, there's the Add Poll button. So I'll click that. I get a list of all the polls I have available. And from here, I can simply hover over it and click Embed into Post. And just as with some other elements that we've worked with previously, you see that the poll is actually just one of these short codes inside the square bracket. So to see what this looks like, I have to publish a story after putting it in a category, and then I see the poll in my post. And you can vote on anything within the poll, and when you vote, you get the results. Adding interactive elements like post ratings and polls can help create an active community around your site. WordPress comes equipped with all the tools necessary to make this as easy as possible.